Hello everyone, and welcome to Galaxy 89 Cars. Today, thanks to Uber GT, I'm taking you on an in-depth exterior and interior tour and exhaust sound video of this 2022 BMW M5 CS. All of Uber GT's contact details can be found in the description of the video. This iteration of M5 is BMW's 6th, and to commemorate that milestone, BMW gave it their CS or Competition Sport moniker for the first time, and made it their most powerful M car ever, aiming for it to be a blend of high performance, technology and comfort. M5 CS comes in at 5001mm long, 1903mm wide, 1468mm high, and has an unladen weight of 1825kg. That's 7mm lower and 70kg less than the M5 competition. Now moving to the powertrain, we first need to unlatch the bonnet. This can be done by putting the lever to the right of the driver's footwell twice. Now moving around to the front, we can then lift the bonnet up and self-secure it on its struts. There is a new, lightweight carbon bonnet here with M5 CS inscribed into it. M5 CS is powered by a front-mounted, twin-scroll turbocharged 4.4 litre V8 that produces 635 horsepower and 750 Nm of torque, 10 horsepower more than M5 competition. This output results in a 0 to 62 mph or 100 km/h time of 3 seconds and a top speed of 189 mph. A faster 0 to 62 time by 0.3 seconds, and a higher top speed by 34 mph versus M5 competition. Just as the standard M5, CS is all-wheel drive, but we now find new mounts that secure the engine to the chassis more tightly for enhanced dynamics. Once finished, the bonnet needs to be lowered and secured on both sides. Moving down to the corners, we find lightweight 20-inch multi-spoke alloys at the front and rear. Braking is provided by large front and rear ventilated carbon ceramic discs as standard, that also provide an energy regen function, 400mm at the front and 396mm at the rear. Stability is provided by lightweight aluminium double wishbones at the front, with adaptive M dampers, and lightweight aluminium double wishbones with a 5-link axle at the rear, where we also find a fully variable M differential. Now we've finished the model overview, we can start the in-depth exterior tour from front to back, with comparisons to M5 competition as we go. At the front, we find a new carbon fibre splitter, but generally the same grille above it. The lateral intakes of the radiators have new gloss black surrounds and fins, presumably for a more aggressive aesthetic and to benefit aero. The kidney grille appears to have a more squared design, possibly to increase airflow, and now comes in gold with a new badge to the left. Either side of this, we come to the BMW CS laser lights that have a bespoke yellow daytime running colour that we will see later. Moving back, we see the new bonnet has a more pronounced central hump, with 2 new vents on either side finished with carbon surrounds. All of this is to form a more aggressive aesthetic and improve engine cooling. The same angular windscreen is behind with its 2 wipers. Any sunroof option from the competition has been removed, as here we find this carbon fibre roof, used to lower the car's centre of gravity. Now moving down to the car's lateral aspect, we find unchanged side skirts. Moving up, we find a new golden strip emblazoned with M5 CS coming out of the front wheel arch vents. This was black in M5 competition. Above these, the electrically adjustable wing mirrors are now capped in carbon fibre. As we continue back along the side of M5 CS, we eventually come to the fuel tank flap on the right side. This is for the 68 litre fuel tank. The car returns a combined MPG of 20.5, reduced from 25.4 in the competition. Continuing back and up, we come to a very tinted, wiperless large rear window. Behind this is a new and larger carbon rim spoiler. Now moving down to the rear of the car, we find the usual badging and the rear view camera. Below these, we find more defined rear light complexes. There is a similarly aggressive rear diffuser that's now finished in carbon in the centre. The quad exhaust outlets also remain, but here we find an Akropovich system that we'll hear later in the video. Now we've finished the exterior in-depth tour, we can move inside. M5 CS has an unchanged key, with the same buttons to unlock, lock for the rear boot, and the bottom assignable button. When unlocked, the lights come on, so here we can view the custom CS yellow DRLs. The large door pulls out easily, and when looking inside, we are greeted with a highly altered interior. I'll focus on each element individually as we progress. Starting with the doors, we can see the same layout as in the M5 competition, but with new contrast red stitching. There's a physical lock indicator at the start of the top panel. Moving forward, we come to the Harman Kardon door tweeter from the 16-speaker system. Below this, we come to the faux carbon insert with the internal lock controls and door release. Moving along and down, we see an ambient lighting strip below this with the seat memory controls. We then come to the large door handle, where we also find the electric mirror and window controls integrated into the front of the armrest. Finally, we move down to the second door speaker and the boot release button built into the top of the door storage area. Now moving into the car, we first come to the new M5 CS kickplate. Sitting in the driver's seat, we find the first manually adjustable air vent and lighting, cruise and parking sensor controls to the right of the steering wheel. The wheel itself is now upholstered in Alcantara with a new 12 o'clock marker. To the left, we find the M1 button with controls for the cruise control system. To the right, we find controls for the infotainment system. Both of these are set in the new dark chrome inserts. Directly behind the wheel, we find the new elongated paddles for the car's 8-speed M-Steptronic automatic transmission. Looking ahead, we come to an all-new digital instrument display that offers info for fuel level and range, speed in miles per hour, mileage, real-time power output and revs, and exterior and engine temperature. The 3 driving modes, normal, sport and track, change this display, in addition to many features that we'll explore later in the video. We can now hear the exhaust with its valves closed and then open. Sitting back inside, we can view the large sun visors, now upholstered in Alcantara, that come with illuminated vanity mirrors. Between the 2 sun visors, we come to the front interior lights and SOS system and their controls. Moving down, we come to the large auto-dimming rearview mirror. Continuing down, we come to the smooth leather upholstered dash with the large insert for the HUD projector. In the centre, we come to the 12.3-inch screen for the infotainment system. This home screen can be configured to show 3 different displays. The first option on the menu to the left is media for the DAB digital radio, Spotify, Bluetooth and aux inputs. Next we come to COM for communications, where we find options for calls and messages and BMW assistance. After this we come to nav for the sat-nav, where we can select from new and previous destinations. Here we can also find live traffic information. Car comes after, where we can view tyre pressure, engine oil and the service schedule. We can also do a lot of configuration here, including choosing the configurable button on the key and setting up the interior ambient lighting. In the Apps display, we can access Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, in addition to installing new apps from the App Store. Other than the reversing camera, the final screen presents information for the 3 different driving modes: road, sport and track. Moving away from the infotainment system, we find CS text to the left. And underneath, we find the same large, lockable, illuminated glove compartment with a leather-bound handbook. Moving back to the centre, we come to the main air vents and the engine start-stop button and hazard lights central. There is a CD player below with track select and on-off and volume rotary. Below this is a touchscreen digital dash for the dual zone climate control system, where seat heating can also be accessed. Now on the flat part of the central column, we start with 2 cup holders, the 12-volt socket and a wireless charging bay, concealed by the carbon slider. Back and to the left of this is the infotainment control array, with screen direct access controls and a multifunctional rotary in the centre. Moving right, we come to the drive selector for the 8-speed automatic M-Steptronic transmission. The gearbox's default setting is auto, but gears can be shifted through using this and the paddles behind the wheel. To the right, we come to buttons for traction control off, setup, M mode for the driving modes, exhaust valves and parking sensors, with the parking brake and hold behind. The leather armrest behind is just that. There appears to be no further storage in the central column. On either side, we find the expensive electrically adjustable carbon bucket seats that come with illuminated M5 inserts. All movement controls can be found to their outside edges. Now we've finished in the front, we can move to the rear. Unsurprisingly, we find a similar layout on the rear door inserts. Ambient lighting at the top below a physical lock indicator, speaker and door release, armrest, electric window button, door handle, main speaker with a divided storage area below. Looking into the back, we get a great view of the exposed gloss carbon from the front seats, and the space available. We also find 2 distinct rear bucket seats, a feature bespoke to this model, I believe. Sitting in one of them, I can report they provide a lot of support. Looking around, and we first come to the manually adjustable air vent on the pillar. Moving to the centre, we come to the main rear ventilation controls and device inputs. There is a small open storage area between the seats, with no central armrest, but we do find CS perforated here. Continuing up, we come to the main rear lights and their controls. Now we've finished in the rear, we can move to the final feature, the boot. It can be opened using the button inside, on the key, or the button by the reversing camera. Looking inside, we find 530 litres of storage capacity. Taking a look around, we find netting and a small compartment in the left indentation, and a small pack in the right indentation. This is for the medical kit, but can of course be used for general storage. Once finished here, the boot needs to be manually closed. So that concludes my in-depth exterior and interior tour and exhaust sound video of this 2022 BMW M5 CS. All of Uber GT's contact info can be found in the description of the video. Please subscribe for the latest content, and thanks for watching.